Hello and welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and there's only one spell left in the lightning element. And even though it's... Well, first of all, let me... Yep, classic soundtrack. And even though it's not necessarily my favorite element, or not element, but spell, it... Let me rephrase that because I am just losing it today. Even though it's not my favorite spell in the... No. Brain! Sorry, Brain is having a hard time today. It's not the most powerful spell within this element, but it is one of my favorites just because it's one of those things I've gotten to work so well in the past. And if I make any more mistakes like that, feel free to laugh at me in the comments, because that was just ridiculous. Just a complete inability to speak. But today we have Arc Sphere. Oh, and in case you're wondering why it looks like I've got such an odd spread of arcana from the beginning and why I was wearing the pink robe, I have actually just recently finished recording for part 3 of the Signature Arcana tier list. I am working on editing everything together and making it a little bit more cohesive, minus my speech problems, which obviously come out every time I record a video, because things like stuttering and saying the wrong word, that is just part and parcel with who I am, and I apologize if it sounds really wonky. That is a genuine, heartfelt apology, because I know how I sound sometimes. But anyway, let's get on to talking about Arc Sphere. We're going with the Dark Katana setup, because as you can see, this is a melee boy. Which means we can get some pretty good damage out of this melee trap here. And the really interesting thing about Arc Sphere is that it just sits there and lingers for a while, so it's not as much of a trap as the campfires, but it is good for walling enemies off. And its signature is that same thing, just on nutty steroids. Hitting up to 200 damage, like, it's a very good combo piece. Though I would say it's more of a combo ender than a combo starter. So what we need is something that's going to be good at getting us in. That's what he said. Sorry, I had to. That setup was just too easy. Alright, so what's going to be a good way to use some movement to get in on our enemies? Well, Blazing Blitz is an obvious one. That wouldn't be too difficult. There is no way I'm going to use... What is it? Tearing Whirlwind? Yeah, no way I'm using that. Discharge could be good. Matter of fact, yeah, because it doesn't have a gigantic amount of knockback. I think that is our call. Then, for this, Frost Feint will do a good job at confusing our enemies. Then we'll take the vines. Alright, I think we've got ourselves a go here. Let's see, the other possible... Actually, no, we should take Severing Slash. There we go. Now I think we've got ourselves something to work with. I guess the question is Frost Feint really a good idea with what we have going on? With such an aggressive setup, I think we might actually do better with Razor Burst. We're going to get a little bit focused on wind, but I think that's okay. Alright, and now we just farm up the retro floor plan, so I will take this time to say thank you guys for being patient with me. I've been going through some very interesting weeks when it comes to my schedule, and obviously working with my BFF's grandmother's funeral was interesting. Not gonna lie, I didn't do a lot in the way of planning or anything, but I wanted to make sure I was there to be supportive, and I've already said this before, but for those of you that missed it, that's kind of what's been going on lately. So, just making sure you all have a heads up here. Alright, I think it's best to actually start at the twins. Well, it's either the twins or Atlas, and you know what? They gave us Atlas first, so let's just go with that. And the twins will be second, and then Freya third. Cool. That. Now, as you can see, part of Arc Sphere's strength comes from the idea that it does lay the shock status effect afterwards, but that's actually only a small part of the package. The real strength with Arc Sphere comes from the idea that it does a particularly good job of laying lingering damage. And it lingers just long enough to give you some breathing room. And you know what? I'm all for that. And just on virtue of what Arc Sphere does, sorry, the Macho Ghouls were making things a little bit more difficult there than they had to be. Just on virtue of what Arc Sphere does, it comes out quickly, it comes out quickly and lets you move very quickly after using it. As you can see, you're only actually held still for a few frames. So unlike something like Spiraling Typhoon, which has similar range, this ends up working out a lot better. And the only real setup you need for it is to have something that moves you in close to your enemies or gives you free reign to do so. Now, one area where I think it is a little lacking is that it doesn't do much against enemy projectiles, and I wish it did. But I understand that it's not exactly a wall, so it would be awkward if it stopped enemy projectiles, like firewall style. I'm just saying it would be nice. Oh, I got it. It would be nice. Okay. I'm gonna grab that. And I'm gonna grab that. Now, the reason why I grabbed Earthquake Axe is just because it's a nice, steady, semi-ranged option, and even though it's not going to trigger the Dark Katana, it does give me just a little bit of extra range to use. That lingering damage. Okay, so I think we grab that, and we grab that, and then we wait to see what else we want to spend money on, because we could still get some arcana upgrades. Well, not good ones, though. Like, I'm not saying Fade Array Rhythm is bad, just not necessarily what I care for. Who am I kidding? It would work out just fine in this build. Okay, that did not work out well at all. As you can see, that is kind of the biggest problem with the build, is that I'm having a hard time getting in when they put up a phalanx of, like, mages. You know, here's those rocks you ordered. You go, I didn't order any rocks. Did I get drunk and order rocks online again? Oh, that hurt. Hey, you gonna drop me anything useful? Kind of, but I think movement speed is a bit more important for positioning's sake. Hey, have I mentioned that I really hate nitroglycerin barrels? This isn't just an average hatred. This is a psychotic burning fucking, like, it's hellfire levels of hatred is what we've got going on here. I hate those things so much. They are the big reason why melee builds almost never work out for me. Okay, enough bitching and moaning. Let's instead of complaining, how about I try playing better? You ever thought about that, you psycho? Problem is with the wand is I have plenty of things that are necessary for combos. So I don't think it's a good idea to pick that up. Alright, wow, that room. Not even just that room, that floor. That floor was a mess. Holy shit. Three. Drill. They really want me to use air spinners. And you know, I really like the idea of air spinners, but I think it's better to have Severing Slash right now. Ugh. Yeah, I should point out that as much as I love using Spark Array, it's the very much inverse is true of how much I like having it used against me. Hey Dark Sage, it seems like you're playing a little bit like garbage. Oh, you've noticed. I'm glad you did. But let's also look at this a little bit more objectively. Am I playing like garbage, or am I trying to make work a build that's very awkward for me? I also keep forgetting that Fadeaway Rhythm has that like step back, and I don't really like that step back all that much. The whole reason why I like the shield charge is because it leaves me there with the enemies pretty much sitting there staggered. So Fadeaway Rhythm needs to be... I'm not even sure I really want this. So Fadeaway Rhythm needs to be used at the very end of everything. I hate these stupid buzzsaw things. Wow, she really does not want to level up my stuff. This run is being made more difficult by the idea that I can't get anything upgraded. Unless it's by some other means. Alright, so one thing I do want to do, though, is do that. Even though I know that it's not going to be good, at least damage-wise, for the next 2 levels, I still think I like it better than Fadeaway Rhythm. And yes, I'm fully aware that the only reason why Fadeaway Rhythm isn't treating me well right now is because I'm expecting it to do something that it doesn't do. But that's why I want Aqua Vortex, because it does do something that I want to do. So even if the next 2 levels are going, or I should say 3, including this one, but even if they're going to resist the Aqua Vortex, at least I know it's doing something that I want it to do. Oh, hey, something I actually want. Alright, come on, let's use our brains here. We don't need to go back to the beginning for anything. Or maybe I do, because the path forward is convoluted and confusing. See, even though they don't get shocked afterwards, it's still effective just because it lingers for a while. Hey, Cecil's just having a field day over here. He wants me to know that he is here. Oh, she really doesn't want to upgrade any of my stuff. It's fine, it's fine. I always like Dr. Song better anyway, Iris. Okay. Wow, could you give me any more garbage? Like, seriously. Hey, that doesn't help. Better grab that. I'm feeling like I'm gonna need it. Sir, could you please calm down? Okay, I saw what was happening, but the game would not let me react. This run is actively being made more difficult by the idea that I am not comfortable with these melee runs in general. There we go. Nope, don't want that. It is amazing how far the game is making me go just to upgrade my starting arcana. I think we've got ourselves into a groove now, I hope. What in the world? Okay, when I started this run, I wasn't thinking, you know what, let me show them just how awful I can be at this game. That's just kind of what's been happening. Yeah, I have Sano's headband, so I don't know how my casting got interrupted there. And it could just be that I'm just plain awful. And self-deprecation aside, I should also acknowledge the idea that this is not an easy run for me. Like, I'm doing my best to try to make this look as interesting and fun as possible, but my god, am I bad at melee. Alright, so let me see something. So that's 15. Maybe about 45. Alright, 15, so 23, 69, and then an extra... Okay, so is oversized needle worth it? By God, I'm gonna try. Oh, hey, look at that. I can finally upgrade something. The funny part is, now I don't want to because I want to afford the fiery paintbrush. You know, or I could just die. Okay, I can at least afford the fiery paintbrush now. Even if I end up failing this run, which is looking increasingly more and more like that's what's going to happen, I can at least go out knowing that I had the fiery paintbrush. That'll make me feel a little better. And I can pick this back up. Oh, getting a little stressed. Look at that, 547 damage. How unreal is that? God, it's almost looking like I've never played this game before. But part of the problem is that I'm just flat out being zoned out by these enemies. Like, my build just basically has almost no range. Everything I have is either close range or made to support short range. Well, at least we can upgrade that. Okay, come on, we can do this. Okay, I think what we do here... take that, and hope that it's enough to keep me going. Wow, why didn't that show up way sooner? Now, as much as I would like the tapping gloves because they synergize perfectly with what I'm doing, I don't think I'm going to be able to afford it. Alright, I am amazed that I've made it this far. Alright, so if there is one thing I will say about this run is that the idea that Arc Sphere has a lingering hitbox helps, but it doesn't help quite as much as I would like it to. Like, I need to accept the fact that maybe Arc Sphere isn't as powerful as I would like it to be. Like, I even said myself, this spell is a good spell, but not as much so as the last couple of spells I've used. So what I will say is that this is a good combo spell, but I don't think it's like the best combo spell, I just think it's good. But also keep in mind that I did make some gameplay mistakes getting all the way up here. When I say gameplay mistakes, I mean things like bad dodges and some iffy movement. There we go. But you know what? I did it. I managed to make it work. So what's more at fault here? Arc Sphere's very lacking range? Or was it more so just poor play on my behalf? Because anytime I dropped Arc Sphere down, it was doing something. Or maybe I just didn't have the right support. Maybe instead of I'll just charge, I should have used something different that could help keep enemies off my back a little bit longer while I got in with my real combo, which was Severing Slash into Arc Sphere. Maybe that was kind of the problem, is that I went a little bit too all in on movement and then didn't rethink my approach. Either way, that's Arc Sphere. Like I said, I think Arc Sphere is a good combo piece, and having something good to charge in there with is important. Maybe don't do what I did and overdo it on that, because clearly once I got Aqua Vortex, things were going a lot better for me. But that having been said, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and this is the last Lightning Elemental Arcana for the Signature Arcana Spotlight series. As I said, I am definitely working on Part 3 for the tier list. Then Part 4 will be Earth, and now that we're done with Part 5, I can start thinking about my placements for that as well. I've got some busy times ahead of me, so forgive me if the next couple of Wizard of Legend videos I do are just build videos, just things to have some fun with the game with, while I put some attention on the tier lists. But whatever the case may be with that, I hope you guys enjoy what comes next. Cecil is just trying his best to derail everything I'm doing right now, so I better go over there and give him some attention. But I do want to thank you guys for coming and checking out my work and taking some of your free time to check out my video. I really do appreciate it. I hope you have a fantastic day or night wherever you may happen to be. I slipped back into my old outro again, forgive me. After a few years, you build up habits. But I will see you guys in the next one. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and you take care, everybody.